Good morning. I'm here to talk about the full moon in Libra. And this one is so interesting. So I looked up the Sabian symbol, the symbols for the moon and the sun. And the moon is a retired sea captain, arises from our reflecting upon all we have done, retiring from struggle. So when you think of a sea captain, you see this like rugged man, like navigating the waves. Some days are absolutely beautiful out on the sea, and sometimes it could be absolutely treacherous. And you have to just have so much faith to go out into the unknown. You know, when you're in the middle of the ocean, there's no landmarks, you're navigating that space. And this man, you know, relies on his crew, and he's probably even seen some of his crew lost, you know? He goes into this job as a mission knowing, you know, they always say the captain goes down with the ship. He knows that if that day comes, that's what he does. But he doesn't fear it because he understands that going down with the ship, he's just returning to the waters that he came from. And so this is a super rugged individual. And luckily he's retired, so he didn't have to see that day where he went down on the ship. But, you know, I see him with the moon being there. It's this like reflection of what have we been through and what have we made it through? Like, what have we been strong enough to endure? What have we learned? And another thing that this brings up is just like that. He might miss that like adventure a little bit. Hi, Susan. She says, I literally said today, I'm not going down with the ship this time. Ha, no joke. I said those words. Wow. Yep. You're tuned in. You're tuned into this energy. Yeah. So it's just about having like so much faith in ourselves, you know, which brings me to that other polarity where the sun is. And the symbol for the sun is on the opposite side of the astrological wheel in Aries. And this is conjunct Chiron. And Chiron is the wounded healer. So it's really illuminating those wounds and where we've healed and how we could also use those skills we learned through that to share with others. So the symbol for the sun is 2 prim spinsters and can bring on the need for seclusion as a way to deepen self-knowledge, turning within to experience our true selves. So I feel like the sea captain's more like looking out and these spinsters are more looking in. And I had to look up the etymology of spinster because I know what it means, but I'm like, where did that term come from? And I was kind of amazed because it comes from, it denoted a woman who spun wool. And a lot of times these women weren't married in the industrial age. It could be a young girl or a woman, and you know, a spinster is somebody like an older woman who hasn't married. Well, that just, it brought me back to the priestess archetype because the symbolism of spinning wool goes along with the virgins. They were womb weavers, and they were not married. That's what virgin meant. You only belonged to yourself. It didn't mean you were chaste, but that you didn't marry and you devoted your life to the goddess. So if you want to learn more about that, you can watch my priestess and goddess presentation. But getting back to like the time period I'm seeing these women, it feels like I'm seeing like Victorian times, like these 2 sisters all like dressed up sitting together. And I feel like they haven't really gone out and experienced as much as the sea captain. They've probably read about him, you know, but they've lived these sort of quiet lives and really gotten to know themselves. And I also feel this sisterhood with these 2 women. And so with Chiron here, it feels like I mean, we know the feminine energy has been rising, but there's this axis of the self and other. And I think what's really important is to really not be afraid to go within and to review and to just let things go, and also to like reach out to somebody if that's going to be supportive for you, you know? So this Aries Libra axis, which we're going to be dealing with a lot more this year, is like, what am I responsible for? What is mine and what is not mine, you know? And really having healthier relationships with people. So it's like the more that we go within and the more that we heal ourselves and get to know ourselves, the more we can connect with other people, the more we connect with the collective consciousness, and the more we have space to be of service and to help people, but never at the detriment of ourselves, you know? But what's also interesting about these two characters that come up in this reading is that they're both in an older position in their life, and it feels like this life review. So this, you know, Aries is the beginning, and it just feels like there's so much letting go so that we can be reborn and start anew and really step forward as our truest selves, you know, as we keep uncovering that. There's always more and more. And another message with this is just like, your soul has not dished out anything that you can't handle. And that can sound like pretty tough, right? But sometimes we really need to just face these hard truths, and we need to really just believe in ourselves enough to know that we can handle whatever it is. If you feel like you can't handle it yourself, look for your support team. If you can't find that support team, how can you really like trust in the divine to assist you? So, you know, I had a Reiki session a couple days ago, and something came up that was my body was holding on to that wasn't even in my consciousness anymore, like in my conscious awareness anyway. And it was hard to become aware of, to be honest with you. It was really, really hard. But I feel like I was communing with my soul, and my soul came in and said, you got this. Like, you are so strong. You are capable of doing hard things. And in that moment, every cell in my body just relaxed, and I knew everything was okay. So I'm just here to encourage you to really dig deep into your own strength and to believe in yourself and know that you are so strong, and to just have so much compassion for yourself, because a lot of us gave ourselves some pretty, you know, difficult assignments, you know? So we did it though. We did it to learn. We did it to, you know, resolve karmas in all of these lifetimes, and to collapse timelines so that we can begin anew. We can begin a new chapter where we are actually, you know, elevating our consciousness as a collective, and as individuals. So yeah, it really feels like the time to let go, you know, acknowledge, let go, and step forward, and just allow it to be that simple. You know, don't get caught up on why did this happen, you know, caught up in all the thoughts. It's like, okay, so I acknowledge this is coming up for my soul's healing, and I can let that go. I can send love to it, and I can step forward as a fuller version of myself. So I hope you guys are doing well, and I hope you have a wonderful full moon. And I mean, I almost like, you know, a lot of times I'll say happy full moon. This one doesn't quite feel like that, but maybe it is for you. I'm just like at peace. I want to say like have a peaceful full moon where we can really just, you know, come to peace with what is and what has been and move forward. So, love you guys. Talk to you later.